So if this makes it to YouTube, it'll be my first YouTube video, and it's about repairing a leak in the discharge piping of my jacuzzi tub. And the method for repair goes to the credit of Eric at Flex PVC, and you can check out his YouTube video at flexpvc.com. But I have located the leaks. I think I've got them all. And I've got 3 leaks, and they're all in the same connection. They're where this flexible pipe or tubing connects into this PVC fitting before it goes into the jet in the jacuzzi. There's these 2, and there's one more just like them, and I've gone through the arduous task of digging out this sprayed in insulation, followed the water so to speak, but found where the leaks were located. I've done a fair amount of research into methods to repair these leaks, and I've bought some different materials to repair them. There's a couple of them. This Plastade, I think that's pretty popular, and the Boss 802 silicone for spas and pools. But the method that I'm going to use is what Eric proposed, and basically it's to use the same primer and adhesive that was used originally, and to essentially create a vacuum on the system at the location of the leaks and reverse the flow and pull the primer and the glue through that vacuum to the place where the leak is specifically. I might note that if you use any of this other stuff and it doesn't work, you're done, and you got to cut it out and do something different. So I'm really encouraged by Eric's idea to just try to use the primer and glue that was used originally to make up the joints and try to make the repair. So to create the vacuum, you've got to plug off all of the jets, all the other areas besides the one that you're trying to repair, so that you're pulling the vacuum just through the jet, if you will, that you've detected the leak at. In this case, I'm focusing on this one right here that doesn't have any tape on it. And I didn't just use tape. I decided to use some little quarter size, nickel size PVC material. It's really the stuff that you use to put under a shower floor before you put the cement and tile and stuff in there. But I cut these out, and then I just taped over them with the blue tape. You can kind of see how I did that there. Also note that in addition to plugging off all the discharge locations, I put plastic bags over these filter intakes, pardon me, these suction intakes too. And I also put a frisbee over my filter intake. But I don't think that's making any difference. I don't know if that's necessary. Maybe the vacuum is sufficiently made by just the seal in the pump or something that you can't backflow to it. I'm not sure, but I don't notice these bags sucking against these suction locations at all. So here I am again, putting a vacuum on one of these locations that I've got a leak. And you can notice the line jumping around. That's because it's pulling water out of it right now. I guess I'm kind of surprised, but pulling some water out of there. One other thing to mention is that these shop vacs, they are cooled by airflow that pulls through them, and when you're pulling the vacuum there's no airflow, so you need to be careful that your shop vac doesn't overheat. You might need to break the vacuum and just let it run for 10-15 seconds or something to cool it down, but you need to be careful not to run it continuously for a long time pulling a vacuum. Yeah, so here again, here's the water that I pulled out. I put the vacuum on the 3 jets that I had leaks on the fittings on the other side. Probably got about I don't know, 1.5 to 2 gallons of water out of there, and this thing's been sitting for, I don't know, a week and a half or something after I drained it, so still got water in it. One other thing, because you're probably going to pull water just like I did, you want to make sure you pull off your dry filter off of there and just use the filter on your shop vac that's suitable for pulling water. Okay, we're getting ready to pull the vacuum again and apply the primer and then the glue. Again, this glue is compatible stuff. It's a medium glue. Was kind of cautioned that you should use the clear glue when you do this, because you might pull the glue right into the vacuum and it could splatter around and stuff. So rather than get glue around in your jacuzzi, you get clear glue. So, and I just got this from Flex PVC, ordered online, they delivered it to me. Already gonna cut it. It's getting ready to do the clear primer. It's really like water, the consistency of this stuff is, and this particular fitting is kind of heading downhill. The other ones were going up, so it's going to be a little easier, but I'm going to just have to drip it over here and hope that the vacuum sucks it in there. Tell me when you're ready. Okay, so now we're pulling the vacuum on that jet, and I'm applying the primer at the location of the leak. Just starting up at the top here and applying the primer, hoping that it's getting sucked in due to the vacuum into the place where the water was coming out of this joint. Okay, now I'm going to do the same exact thing with the glue. I didn't wait that long, maybe about 30 seconds or something. It's a lot thicker than the primer. Okay, hon. Okay, back to filling it up now. I'm over the one of the jets that had a leak in it, and I haven't checked it yet, so I'm gonna go take a look to see if I've got any drips. So far so good. That one down below with an X on it was one of the leaks, and this one up above it was too. I did put the vacuum on it, and I actually did it 4 times. I don't know if it did any good after the first time, and I'm not positive that I pulled primer and glue with my vacuum into there, but I know that I had a vacuum on the line. I pulled water out of it again, about 1.5 gallons, 2 gallons, and I actually collapsed the shop vac hose. When it got hot, it actually closed it down and collapsed it with the vacuum. So so far so good. No pressure on it right now, just a little bit of head, as you can see, about 3 or 4 inches, but I'll go ahead and keep filling it up and turn on the pump and see how I did. Okay, the jacuzzi's full now, and the 3 leaks that I repaired, it's the 3rd one over here with the X on it, or this part of an X on it. The clean one, none of them are leaking, and again, they've only got a little bit of pressure on it based on the level in the jacuzzi, but I'm going to start up the pump here in a minute. Okay, I've got the pumps running now, and so far no leaks on the two of them. Over on the other side's the last one I repaired. This is actually the worst one. No leaks there. So thanks to you, Eric, at Flex PVC, for an awesome repair procedure.